Welcome back to another episode of Genesys Weekly. My name's Hazel, and I have some incredible replays to show you from this week's tournament. If you would like to play in a Genesys Weekly, just join the Genesys Discord, links in the description. It's that easy. And as a side note, before we get started this week, I know it's baby's first achievement and all, but thank you so much for the 100 subscribers. It actually happened so much sooner than I expected. The positive feedback has been incredible, and I just wanted to thank you for that real fast. And anyway, let's get into the replays. Enjoy them. Our first matchup this week is Materiactor Eldlich, who drew the brick, versus, well, you'll see. Eldlich will start with a Delta of Invitation into green light. Nice try, guy. We'll just set everything and pass the Eldlich way. We have no starter, so Eldlich gets to play. They'll summon Huakero. All that does. Fuwal's drawn for turn does absolutely nothing as we flip summon Dragon Zombie and attack directly. Unironically for 3,400 and pass. We draw Nibiru for turn. Can't do anything, so we'll set Eva to at least soak an attack. Finally, a Materiactor card that gets us into the Exegard, which gets orange lighted. Goodbye. Nice try. Wakero clears the Eva, which of course will now search for 2 more Heralds. Beautiful gameplay. Konami, please nerf these cards. We draw into the Clown Crew Operatics, finally. Revealing that we are in fact playing Clown Crew this entire time. Wakero attacks directly, still no place from the Eldlich. Operatics will summon from the extra deck a Fiends. Will set these operations that we drew for turn. Second Conquistador is summoned. And operations will search for a Bianca Viso, so we can finally start actually playing the game. Criminality Venana is made rank 5. It gets a material back. Operations, though, will summon the Bianca Viso. Vimana is a monster negate, though, so we'll see how this chain is built. Clown Crew Fiends Chainlink 1, Bianca Viso Chainlink 2, negated by Vimana. So the Fiends is going to respond, and we'll get a rehearsal from the deck. Battle phase. Evenly matched for 1. Goodbye, Forbidden Droplet. Never knew you. End phase. We banish the Conquistador from the graveyard to get the set from the deck effect, and then we can finally use the Exalted Golden Lord here to get it back for some infinite value here in the Eldlich deck. Both decks finally kind of actually playing the game. Operatics in the end phase, drawing a card, and we draw a very interesting card for turn. Let me move out of the way here. Let's read this card together. Must be special summoned by banishing 1 face up, Ritual, Fusion, Synchro, and XYZ monster. Well, let's see if the Clown Crew player can pull it off. Orange Light will negate this Vimana, as Rehearsal starts getting us into more Clown Crew cards. That Malabarisme will help us get all those different types into play. We get a Fusion and a Synchro here with Fiends and Meteor. Tribute both for a Bianca Viso. We will start getting infinite value here. Setting a trap, we'll get a card back, and Bianca Viso will draw 2 cards. There's a Nibiru, very nice. And the Malabarisme back in hand. Operatics will be met with Conquistador and an Elixir of the Scarlet Sanguine. Now that Eldlich is on the field, Conquistador can destroy a card, so goodbye, Operatics. Your effect will not resolve with effect. End phase, Eldlich starts to cycle all their cards once again. The infinite value machine is churning. Next turn. Malabarisme gets 2 more monsters in the deck. We'll get the Flare from the main deck. Wakero comes down to banish card from the graveyard as we make the upgraded fusion form of Eldlich to put a zombie in the graveyard, and we make a Gustav Max for 2,000 damage. Nice. We try to use the Bianca Viso to tribute summon a monster from hand, but that'll be negated by Crown. There is a second Bianca Viso on the field, soft once per turn. Tribute summon for another copy of Bianca Viso. Starting to get all the value, including the Flare in the graveyard, which can set a monster directly without targeting. Draw 2 cards. Set the Gustav, and we get back the Operatics. We can finally start using that again. End phase. Eldlich reset all the trap cards. And they'll hold their Elixir. Nope, they'll set it. Alright, next turn. Draw Keldo for turn. Flare is going to get us into the new phase. We can finally start recycling our banished Malabarisme and other cards. Banish Rehearsal for a Ritual summon. And then we tribute summon Nibiru, the Primal Being. Sometimes I forget that's even actually an option. But here we are, 3,000 body coming down into a absolutely massive chain. We're going to summon a Conquistador of the Golden Land. We will be getting a Eldlich from somewhere, and Clown Crew New Face is going to be trying to pop a card here. Conquistador comes down and destroys New Face. Well, who knows what it was going to be doing. Nerva, the power patron of creation, is summoned by tributing an illusion, a rock, and a beast warrior. Requires you to tribute 3 monsters of different types. Here it is. And because it's a tribute, of course, it'll trigger the meteor here in the graveyard. And that'll get us back a Bianca Viso in hand. Delta of Invitation was also sent to the graveyard. That'll trigger. Oh, sorry, a monster was sent to the graveyard, so Delta will trigger. Operatics is now going to activate, and a Keldo just going to reshuffle some cards back. Looks like we're putting extra deck cards back so that we can summon them. And then Sophia has hit the building. We have banished a Fusion, Synchro, XYZ, and Ritual monster from the field. All carefully orchestrated. Sophia is here. And when she hits the field, everything goes. The hands, the fields, the graveyards. Except for one small oversight. The XYZ materials are still in the graveyard. Sophia attacks for 3,600 directly. That's it. Forbidden draw, play draw for turn set, and that Eldlich can come back, summon itself, upgrades into the fusion, crashes, at which then of course triggers to summon the Mad Golden Lord, which outs the Sophia. And suddenly the tables have turned. One New Face versus a 3,800 beater. The New Face is not going to be stopping much here as Eldlich poises for attack. New Face, shuffle 3 cards and draw 1. It better be a very good card. Eva is not the card that will save you. And despite resolving the effect of Sophia, the Clown Crew player loses game 1. Game 2. Let's see how this plays out. Clown Crew starts with a Manju, getting us into Clown Crew Flare. Flare effect will get us a Rehearsal, and then tribute a Sophia from hand, or discard. Don't need it. Too early in the game. Clown Crew Rehearsal will get us 2 cards, and Malabrisme will get us 2 more cards, this time from the deck and extra deck combined. And once again, we're summoning Nerva. Very interesting. We have a Fairy, a Beast Warrior, and an Illusion that we summoned from the main deck, which enables Nerva. That'll trigger to get a spell from the deck. We get the Operatics. Operatics effect, summon from the extra deck 1 copy of Meteor. Rehearsal to Ritual summon the Flare by attributing the Meteor. That'll get us a card back from the graveyard, instead of Flare to be attributed for a tribute summon. Operatics in the end phase, draw 2, set enemy controller. Materiactor player starts with the Eldlich, the Golden Lord, to remove the enemy controller, and then summons the Exoraptor by searching for Dragon Zombie and summoning it, overlaying for the Exegard. Second copy of enemy controller activated, tributing the Flare to steal it, and then of course it was tributed, so Flare triggers, and we will return all the ritual monsters, I guess just itself. Eldlich sets 2 and summons the big boy, who is now at 3,500, can't be destroyed for a little bit. Runs over the Nerva. Exegard returns to its owner. And Clown Crew draws 8,000 cards as is normal. New Face discarded for an effect. It'll return to the field. Operatic summoning a Diabolo. And we start to pick apart the board by attributing summoning Bianca Viso. New Face will just target the back row to remove it. We'll start drawing. And the Diabolo in the graveyard will get us a trap from the deck. And then with a surprising turn of events, Golden Land here negated by Herald of Purple Light, Pitch Keldo. I forgot Herald of Purple Light was a card. Here it is, winning in the Eldlich matchup. Are you prepared for the Eldlich matchup in your deck? We draw a Medura after discarding a Keldo. The graveyard control is ours. Eldlich, you tried, buddy. Bianca Viso destroyed by battle, and we'll pass there. We have lots of gas in the tank. Quaquero drawn for turn from Eldlich. New Face will start off by drawing another card. Herald of Green Light is drawn. Exegard gets us another level 3 monster from the deck. This time it's the Zeptwing getting us into the Meltdown. We can finally start plussing. Overlay for Dante, Traveler of the Burning Abyss. It's Daniel himself. This is where we say, no. I do not want you to be milling 3. Operations, let's summon 2 cards from the extra deck. But more importantly, operations here. Let's tribute summon a Bianca Viso immediately and get a ton of value before our opponent gets to set up Fiends. We get a card from the deck. Or shuffle all the XYZ monsters. And Meteor. Oh, goodbye, Daniel. Meteor gets us a card back. Materiactor Meltdown is negated by the Herald of Greenlight. Upgrading to the Final Angel of Golden Land, though. Keldo shuffling some cards back into the deck to just disrupt the entire cycle of resources here. We can float into the big boy once again, but in this case, it's not Giga Lethal. End phase. Draw 2 cards from Operatics, and then draw for turn. And then search with Flare. New face not yet activated this turn. Yeah, the advantage is unbelievable. Let's see how the match concludes. We'll start with an Exoraptor. Searching for Dragon Zombie, of course, and overlaying for the Exegard. Exegard gets us into the Zepwing, which gets us into the Meltdown. Gets us back the Dragon Zombie as well, so for another rank 3. Materiactor Meltdown. Activated, and then Dante, the Traveler of the Burning Abyss, is summoned. Materiactor Meltdown, let's scan the top cards of our deck, and we find another Zepwing. We'll add that to our hand. And then we'll add the Zepwing from under Dante to our hand, and we'll detach from Dante. Mill 1. And we happen to hit the Delta of Invitation. Very, very nice card to hit. XYZ Armor Fortress gets us a 1 search. And Materiactor Meltdown starts to stack up the materials. We'll activate that Delta Invitation in hand to send an Eldlich. Get it back, summon it, and get a Delta back from the graveyard. And we'll pass here. Let's see if Clown Crew can crack a Big Boyo, a full armored XYZ, and an Exegard. Preparation of Rites gets us directly into Flare. Flare gets us into the Rehearsal, of course. Tributing the Flare in hand to search 2. And then Flare will be able to set a monster. Which one will be selected? The XYZ Armor Fortress. Malabrisma gets us into Diabolo and Fiends. As Exegard bounces the Fiends back into the extra deck, they do not want all the XYZs in play and graveyard being shuffled. Tribute summon Bianca Viso by tributing 1 copy of Diabolo. The Bianca Viso will negate the Meltdown as the Diabolo gets a copy of Operations from the deck. Bianca Viso attacks and dies. Strangely, sure. Alright. Flip summon the XYZ Armor Fortress as Eldlich tries to remove the Operations. Operations chain to summon 2 from the extra deck. Full Armor XYZ chain to that, and that will be negated by the unsung hero of the Eldlich Mirror matchup, the Herald of Purple Light, pitching a Shuffler. Unbelievable gameplay. We get 2 monsters from the extra deck, Diabolo and Fiends, as Exegard summons an Exoraptor from the main deck. Full Armored Knight Lancer comes down and equips Dante as Operations starts a tribute summon. Here's Bianca Viso, tributing 2 monsters to summon it. We'll be able to shuffle all the XYZs on the field and the graveyards. We'll be able to set a card from the deck. We have Bianca Viso here. And a DD Crow removing a Keldo. It'll be forced out right now, returning some of the materials back to the deck. Huge chains here. We get Operations and Operatics now. Dark Knight Lancer and Exegard, both negated by the Bianca Viso because it attributed 2. That's okay. We have full number F0 Utopic Features Zexal. Here it is. Plus, we can float into the big boy yet again. We have the Eldlich here. Oh, no, is it already lethal? Nope. Don't even need the big guy. Here is the Clown Crew list featuring Sophia, Goddess of Rebirth, and some basketballs to also tribute summon over your opponent's monsters. Nibiru is part of the non-engine lineup. We got a huge fairy package here, including Manju, which is a fairy. Eva and Heralds and Shufflers. It's quite a potent and annoying combination of cards. Utopic Feature Zexal for some silly plays, since you can summon, multiple XYZs pretty easily. Plus, we have some extra deck sends for the Sighted Ultimate Slayer and a Nerva, the Power Patron of Creation, which you saw in the replays. Herald of Purple Light, Illusion Gate, Enemy Controller, and Gravity Collapse also in the side deck. Here is Eldlich Materiactor. Dragon Zombie for style, of course. So we have 3 Eldlich and 3 of all the Eldlich traps. We have a Materiactor lineup here featuring the Exoraptor, Gigadra, Zeptwing, and 1 Meltdown. We have 1 copy of the White Elixir and the Cursed Eldland. And for the non-engine, we have just the nastiest lineup, honestly. 2 copies of Droplet, 1 copy of Crown, 2 Fualos, evenly matched in the main deck. In the side deck, Dragon's Mind, Ghost Mourner, Vados, Gamma Seal, DD Crow, and the 1 Illusion Gate for consistency, of course. Extra deck, we have the Eldlich, the Mad Golden Lord, Fallen Angel, the Golden Lord. Got some trains here, full armored XYZ cards with some main deck bricks. Materiactor, Exegard, Dante, F-Zero, and Chronomaly Venmana. Next up is a matchup I'm sure you've seen a million times before. This is Fabled Yummy versus Super Quantum. Super Quantum will begin with Red Layer and then activate a Sudden Incursion, and that'll allow them to summon Blue Layer from the deck. Blue Layer will be met by Veiler, no effect for you. Okay, we'll use the White Layer, sending the Red Layer to the graveyard, summon itself, and bin another copy of itself. The copy in the graveyard will be met by a Ghost Bell. So we will proceed with the field spell, pitching a useless Fualos to make a Lustrous. Yummy will begin with Marshmallow, and then normal summon Fabled Chawa into a Cupsy Yummy Way. Cupsy Yummy Way will search for 2 more Yummy names and pitch a cookie. Cupsy comes down and searches for Yummy Surprise. Next up, Yummy Surprise will special summon back 1 Yummy. It'll be the Marshmallow, which of course will trigger to add the Surprise back to hand. Lollipop comes down, and it will shuffle a Super Quantum back into the deck from the graveyard as the Starham is made. Cupsy comes back. We go into Lollipop, get back a ton of names. This is infinite synchro material. Yummy Surprise will target 2 monsters on each side and shuffle the whole lot of them. We'll send them back to the hand anyway. That'll trigger White Layer, who is an XYZ material, and search for an Alphan. Next up, Martial Metal Marcher brings back the Fabled Chawa. A Fabled Gavagen will allow us to get a Fabled Lurry from the deck and go into Fabled Ragin. And trigger the Gavagen in the graveyard. Draw, draw, draw. We will make Excel Synchro Dragon. Summon back the Cupsy Yummy Way. Attack and pass. Blue Layer comes down. That'll be met by the Excel Synchro, which will make the Fabled Levelizable. Blue Layer will choose to search for another sudden Incursion. This time it'll summon a Zaytan from the deck. That'll be met by Levelizable, stolen, and negated. Field Spell will rank up into a Grand Pulse, into a Donner Magician, into a Zeus. Wow, don't see a Zeus every day. Levelizable returns itself to the extra deck to put Lurry back into the hand. We'll bring back the Starham, which gets the Fabled Lurry. Where Arf Thou, because we control level 1 monster, gets into Fabled Catsith. Normal summon that. Cookie Yummy Way is the choice of Synchro Summon, as that forces out Zeus, who's now face down. But the Zeus activation will prevent anything else. Zeus Flip Summon, Normal Summon, Alphan. Let's reveal 3 names. What do we summon? We summon the Red Layer, pitching black and white. That'll trigger just a whole heap of effects, only one of which is negated by Ghost Spell. And I don't think that Ghost Spell is going to be doing a whole heck of a lot right now. We have a Sudden Incursion, an Alphan in hand. Sudden Incursion gets us another name from the deck. What will it be? It is the Blue Layer. Blue Layer effect searches us for a Zaytan. Zaytan effect, special summon. And then tribute to bin the Alphan Strike. That's enough. Let's see what happens in game 2. We'll lead with Jack in the hand, revealing Fabled Chawa, Marshmallow Yummy, and Fabled Catsith. Marshmallow is added, and we get the Fabled Chawa. Rescue Cat will summon 2 names from the deck. And that, of course, makes Cupsy Yummy Way, which lets us get 2 more Yummy names in our hand and pitch a card. We'll pitch the dead Rescue Cat. Cupsy Yummy comes down, searching for the Yummy Surprise. Lollipop comes down, makes Starham. And we are starting the whole process of climb, climb, climb. Lollipop Yummy gets 2 names back. Going to Metal Marcher. But all that material's gone for nothing because there's a Nibiru. The rock has hit the building. We're now staring at the Salamangre end board. Yummy Surprise gets back 1 name. At least it's something. But can we comment on the Balatro hand up here? Nibiru, Nibiru, Quantum, Black Layer, Black Layer, Black Layer, and a Zaytan. Zaytan goes off and bins the Alpha Strike. We'll summon back 2 yummy names, and we'll see if that gets us anywhere. Cupsy will get us into a drop. We'll get a War Arf now. Fabled Treason will allow us to send an Alphan, and that'll send the Quantum player into the battle phase. Nibiru clears one name. They activate the field spell and pass. Nibiru token, attack mode, destroy Nibiru. Very, very cool. Cupsy Yummy has hit the field. No more search targets, I suppose. That's why we didn't search any. Red Layer will be summoned and be met by the Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. That'll be met with the Black Layer, and then that'll be chained out with the Yummy here. Black Layer does hit the field, and the Cookie Yummy that was summoned back from the graveyard will destroy it. We have a sudden incursion though. We can normal summon Zayden and activate it. That'll be met by Lollipop Tagout, getting back Marshmallow and Cupsy. Alphan has hit the field as Marshmallow gets us a card back and Cupsy gets us a draw. Oh, we actually activate the Yummy Redemption straight from the deck. Alphan reveals 3 names, summons Red Layer, and bins a white and a green layers. Once again, we have every effect under the sun activating. We now have white, black, red in hand. Blue on the field from the effect of the white layer here. And another sudden incursion has met the hand. We're using the field spell. We activate to rank up into the Magna Liger. And here is a Grand Pulse. Magna Liger removes the absolutely massive Nibiru token as these XYZ monsters get in for some damage. And here comes Zeus again. Let's see if it sticks around a little bit. Well, actually, I guess it ended the game last time. It stuck around just fine. Chawa comes down. That'll be met by a Magna Liger, which sends it to the graveyard. Oh, that's all the gas. It looks like the Quantum player is just going to continue to amass their advantage. White Layer adds back the Alphan of normal summon. Reveal 3, summon 1. This is going to hit 8,000 here in a second, I'm sure. Blue Layer gets to a Zayden. Zayden comes down as a sudden incursion. Oh. No more names in the deck, maybe? I'm not sure what happened there. Alright, well, it wasn't lethal at all. Jack in the hand, reveal 3. Marshmallow to the opponent, Lurry to our hand. Normal summon Rescue Cat. Do we still have targets? I don't know, because Zeus just destroyed the whole field. And triggered 1, 2, 3 different names in the graveyard? Nope, that was just the blue layer shuffling 3 names. Okay. Zeus attack. Is this all we're doing? Just Zeus beatdown? Okay. Engraver. That's a good card. Searches for Fiendsmith's Tract. Okay. Activate Tract. Met by Herald of Greenlight. Why the hell is there Herald of Greenlight? Oh my god, they're everywhere. Alright, we're setting passing. That's where we're at. Opponent normal summons the Marshmallow and then attacks directly with Zeus, adding insult to injury. Not the Fabled Solculus. No, level 6 monster. That's not what we want to see. Fiendsmith Engraver can summon itself, though. We have a Light Fiend. And then we confuse with the Solculus. Wait, not all is lost. Fiendsmith's Lacrima is made. And we can special summon back the Fabled Solculus. And we can get into battle. Ooh, that'll trigger Zeus, though. Zeus will crash with the Lacrima. Lacrima effect, of course, burning for 1200, shuffling a card back. But Eva was under that Zeus. Who put Eva under the Zeus? Oh, no, that's 2 more Heralds in hand. Red Layer has hit the field. Getting us back the field spell. Activate. Pitching a Black Layer to get a Magna Liger, which can remove that Solculus. Red Layer in the graveyard, floating back a Blue Layer as... Who? What year is it? Gaia Dragon the Thunder Charger comes down for 2,600. And that's a lethal blow. Here is the Super Quantum list. We have Fuelos in the main deck alongside the Nibiru the Primal Being and a Herald package. And Vigneal's Blessing to bin some fairies alongside our Quantum cards. In the extra deck, we have Magnus, King of the Computer, and Zeus. We have Red Ice Flare Metal Dragon and an assortment of rank 7s, rank 5s, rank 4s, and a Grand Pulse. In the side deck, we have Ice Dragon's Prison, Delta of Invitations, Shared Ride, Hey Trunade, Herald of Greenlight, Gamma Steel, and 1 Wandering Titan of Tartarus. Here is Fabled Yummy. We have a small, minimal Yummy package alongside a Fabled core here with Rescue Cat as a starter, Jack in the Hand, and Where Art Thou as consistency tools alongside Feedsmith. We have Valor, Fuelos, Ghost Ogre, Ghost Mourner, and Ghost Bell as non-engine. In the extra deck, we have all 3 of them Cookie Synchros. Yummy Synchros. Don't know what I'm saying. Fabled, Gamagin, Ragin, Levelazable, alongside some Synchro Climbers and a Zalen the Shackler, Stardust, a Cell Synchro, and Stardust. You saw the combo to make the Fabled Levelazable. Phoebus Lacryma as a fusion target, and Caesar for going first, alongside Ensemble Blue Robin. In the side deck, Yummy Redemption, 3 copies of Blizzard, non-fusion area, Old Entity, Cthulhu, Spiritualism, one of the most based choices for spell trap removal, Santa Claus, searchable by Fiends Tract, and Illusion Gate. Next up is DoomZ versus Earth Machine. These are actually our 2 top-rated players of the event. We'll start with a Hero Lift, summoning Prisma from the deck, revealing Archmage Diactorus to change the name to Medius the Pure. And then we can summon Medius by shuffling back a monster. Medius effect will summon the DoomZ Power Patron from the deck, which will allow us to XC summon using just Medius. Here comes Diactorus equipped with DoomZ Power Patron. We'll rank up into Graflario, which will destroy the DoomZ Power Patron and give us a search of DoomZ Raiders. We normal summon Elara, which gets us a DoomZ Destruction. Springin's Merrymaker is made with the 2 level 4 monsters into Gigantic Champion Sargus, who gets us Regulus the King, equipping DoomZ Power Patron. We activate Raiders, and we will activate the effect of Graflario to get an Azastria. Raiders effect will destroy the Graflario, and special summon from the deck the Amalth. Graflario will also trigger, so we'll get a monster search from Amalth, and Graflario will give us another special summon. That'll be an Alara. Overlay the 2 level 4s for Gagaga Magician, special summon back another rank 4, and make Utopic Future Zexal. Adastria equipped to the champ. We can then destroy it to float back in Elara and equip it with the Adastria. Drastea will destroy the DoomZ Power Patron stranded in our spell trap zone and equip itself with a Doomdirk. Wow, that is a hairy board. Doomdirk pays a cost. First thing we do is out the king with a kaiju and then activate Heavy Storm. Back row, be gone. That will be met with Drastea. That will be met with Urgent Schedule. That will be met with Elara. So they're trying to XYZ summon using these before the back row is gone. But Forbidden Droplet sending both spell cards will actually shut down that entire concept. And also the Utopic Future Zexal all at once. We sent 3 cards. Also this Babel Decker from our hand. So the Urgent Schedule resolves. We have these 2 Earth Machines on the field. And the whole board is basically neutralized. We will normal summon the Machina Gear Frame to get a Machina Unit Class Barre, which will summon itself. And that dumps the Machina Rune Force. Gear Gigant gets us wherever we want to be, which in this case is Convex Knight. Convex Knight special summons itself, changing itself to a level 10 because there's a 10 on the field, and that gives us access to Gustav Max, 2,000 damage directly to the dome. Which is lethal? Wow. Oh, no, they just surrendered. Let's see if DoomZ fares any better this match. They might not be. They're facing Kaiju Magical Hound Heavy Storm. That's quite the hand. DoomZ begins with a copy of 7th Tachyon, revealing Ragna Zero to get Surfacing Big Jaws. They'll then follow with a Hero Lives, just like last game. Summon Elemental Hero Prisma, revealing Archmage Diactorus to send Medius the Pure and change the name. Medius the Pure then shuffles the Prisma back into the deck, summon itself, and get the DoomZ Power Patron directly from the deck. That'll let us make a rank 4 using just Medius. Here is Diactorus equipped with the DoomZ Power Patron. Rank up yet again, just like last game. We get a search of Adastria. Graflario detached to search for Raiders. DoomZ Raiders will activate and destroy Graflario, summoning from the deck, and then Graflario will also summon from the deck. Elara is one of the summons, which gets us a DoomZ Destruction from the deck. And in Amalth. Amalth gets Drastea. And we'll make Springin's Merrymaker, and here is Champion Sargus yet again. Champion Sargus searching King Regulus, who will equip himself with the Graflario. Surfacing Big Jaw is now coming down, activating its effect on the field to search for Shark Drake. We're now locked into XYZ monsters. Shark Drake comes down and overlays into Dempsey. Battling Boxer King Dempsey, searching for... I forget the name. Courageous Crimson Chevalier Bradamante. Say that 5 times fast. That effect will allow us to get the XYZ lay from the deck, which this is an 800 brick way to get the unbreakable XYZ barrier. Oof, another card that probably needs some points. The champion will now allow us to return the XYZ lay to the hand because a material was attached, and then we can equip it with Edestria to destroy it and special summon back a Deactorus and overlay into the Utopic Future Zexal. Drastea comes down, destroying an equip card to equip itself with DoomZ, and we normal summon Skullmeister equipped with XYZ Lay. Not a play you see every day, but it is a 2100 guy, which is something. All right, how will this go? DoomZ, 500. Kaiju comes down. That is 1 threat gone, and without an XYZ monster on the board, XYZ Unbreakable Barrier is not doing anything. However, we can rank up into 1. Deactor is here. And we will equip it with the Skullmeister. Okay, Heavy Storm coming down, negated by the King. King's gone. Revolving Switchyard, allowed to resolve. Urgent Schedule, negated by the Unbreakable XYZ Barrier. Okay. We're getting through most of the most of the reactions, but Doom's Destruction comes, and that'll shut down any searches, and that's all she wrote. How will this match end? Let's find out. We start with Machina Fortress and Convex Knight, sending the Blue Traveler. Blue Traveler negated by Skullmeister, and oof, that's not a combo anymore. Look at that hand for the Dooms player. That looks like combo 18 Ways to Sunday. Machina Overdrive, chain with Forbidden Droplet to at least stop the first combo from happening. Machina Citadel on the field, 3000 attack, and can nuke the opponent's field. Doom's Raiders equipped to Convex Knight, which will then be destroyed to search a card. This is the Drastea. Amalth was destroyed and will search for Doom's Power Patron. Drastea comes down, destroying Doom's Raiders to summon itself and equip with DoomZ. Drastea will then rank up into a rank 8. Here comes Drasterus. And when he arrives, get on me. You're my equipment now. Surfacing Big Jaws comes down, rank 4 extender with the Drake Shark. Adastria on Drake Shark will allow us to destroy it and get back a different level 4 monster. We'll choose a Mouth, which will equip itself with the Adastria. And we rank both of those into Spring and Merrymaker up into the Champion Sargas. Here's the King yet again, making an appearance in all 3 games. Champion Sargas attacks. Drasterus activates its effect to destroy Sargas. Sure. The King comes down, equipping itself with Sargas, and that's where we'll end the turn. Machina Overdrive. Give us a good draw, shining draw. We get Machina Gear Frame. That's at least a starter. Drasterus, though, has something else to say about that, and that's all she wrote. Here is the Dooms list. 2 of all the names except for Elara, which of course is a good starter. We have a Premature Burial, Adastria, DoomZ, 3 copies of Raiders, 3 copies of Change, the Destruction. We have the Prisma with 3 Hero Lives as a package, 3 Savage Tachyon, Surfacing Big Jaws with Drake Shark, the King, Amedius, Triple Dimension Shifter not featured in this match, Illusion Gate, and evenly matched in the main. Notably, no Fualos in this list, just evenly. In the extra deck, we have Ragna Zero, the Galaxy Eyes, Tachyon Dragon, Archmage, Deactorus, Grifflario, Deactorus, Drasterus, Merrymaker, and Sargas, Exiton Knight, Tubby Features Exile, Gaga Magician, Diagusto Emerald, and Tornado Dragon, most of which you saw, except for a few flex options. And in the side deck, we have the Unbreakable XYZ package that you saw with the Courageous Crimson, the Dempsey, XYZ Lay, and the Unbreakable XYZ Barrier. We also have the Metal Silver Armor in case you need to get around some targeting effects. Hecka Hands, Godo, Skullmeister, Double Cyclone, and Twin Twisters to finish off the side deck. Here is the Earth Machine list. It's quite a different style than we've seen in previous weeks. We have Machina Rune Force with 3 Jizakurus, Machina Citadel, and a whole bunch of train monsters. The Silver Express Bullet Train, the Derek Crane, and Triple Babbledecker. Regulus is here, Machina Fortress, and Machina Unit Class Barre, Convex Knight, Machina Gear Frame, and 1 copy of Magical Hound, Harpy's Feather Duster, Heavy Storm, and Dark Hole, all in the main. We're just going for all the old school sweepers, I suppose. Machina Redeployment Forbidden Droplet, Urgent Schedule, and Revolving Switchyard all here. Exceptional Schedule, not here, and not spending the 10 points on that. We see Jirai Shin and Draco Berserker of the Tenyi as Synchro Flex options alongside a smattering of all the trains. Leave, Gustav, Rocket, the Flying Launcher, Dora, Gustav, Max, the Champ. We have a Cyber Dragon Infinity package alongside the Gaming Gamer GG. Oh my god, that is a tongue twister. Gear Gigant and the Merrymaker. In the side deck, Artifact Lancea Skullmeister, No Material Typhoon, and Machina Overdrive all at 3. Very clean looking. Next up is another replay of that same Eldlich Materiactor deck. This time up against Fairy Tales with what some might consider to be criminal cards. We lead with the Materiactor I don't know. Anyway, we have an Exegard. Summoning a Zepwing. Here comes the Meltdown. And here comes back Dragon Zombie. Meltdown comes down. And we make Dante. Hello, Daniel. Materiactor Meltdown lets us look at the top of the deck. Scanning. Bunch of Eldlich cards, but we will take another X-Raptor. And we will return the Zepwing to our hand. Dante, detach. We choose 3 this time. 1, 2, 3 Eldlich cards, including Delta Invitation and 2 Eldlich cards. We upgrade into the XYZ Armor Fortress and search for the full armored XYZ. Next, we will use Meltdown. Top card, attach. Ooh, it's an Eldlich card. We send the full armored XYZ to the graveyard to add and special summon Eldlich the Golden Lord, which triggers the Delta of Invitation. We upgrade into the full armored Dark XYZ the Aqua guy. And we set a Hiwakero, a Conquistador, and a Forbidden Droplet by banishing these 2 Eldlichers from the graveyard. Fairy Tail draws Super Poly for turn. Unbelievable gameplay. Making a Mud Dragon off the rip. Goodbye to all that interaction. I never knew you. Mud Dragon calling Light, and now Fairy Tail Luna comes down and cannot be targeted. We'll special summon the Machugiru as we search for the Fairy Tail Ball. Machugiru will then change the Eldlich the Golden Lord into the it changes the name. It comes up weird here, but their name is the Prince of Fairies. Conquistador comes down, but they don't control Eldlich the Golden Lord. They control Prince of Fairies or whatever. Genia the Ring comes down as an extender, making Fairy Tail Wiccat, which lets us mill 2 cards. We'll choose both spell cards, one of which resets itself, one of which equips itself from the graveyard. Fairy Tail Sleeper, normal summon. And we'll fusion summon into the Weaver of Fairy Tail, special summoning another copy of Luna from the deck. Our Fairy Tail monsters can attack directly thanks to the field spell, so we are. And it would be lethal, maybe, or close, but Forbidden Droplet will cut them all in half. So they will be left on 4,300 instead. We'll overlay into Alchemic Magician, and in the end phase, both engines start going into the infinite cycling. We have Elixir of the Golden Land set, Conquistador set, and Alchemic Magician will get a very magic Lacrima of Light. Once upon a Fairy Tale activated immediately. Elixir of the Golden Lord, now a light spellcaster named some other thing, and negated for good measure. Zepwing comes down. Mistaken Arrest, though, will prevent any searches. I'm sorry, sir, but you're going to have to come with us. Conquistador activated, but there is no Eldlich. Fairy Magic comes out. Summoning Crowley, the Gifted of Magistus, straight from the deck. Crowley will allow us to fusion summon. And here comes Zora, the Verathrongna one, which is a negate. Delta of Invitation triggered. Adding back to the hand, and then we will overlay for an Exegard. Let's see if we can bounce that Fairy Tail Ball. Nope, we're negated. Materiactor Meltdown, please give us a search from the top of our deck. There was no Materiactor card, so we don't, but we can detach a material and add to our hand. Elixir, the Mad Golden Lord. We can at least get back a banished card to stay in this game. We can use the Delta Invitation and send the Wandering Titan of Tartarus. And we send a total of 7 cards to activate its effect. If you haven't read this card here, let's read this one together. If this card's sent from the deck to the graveyard, send as many cards as you control as possible to the graveyard. And if you do special summon this card, then send cards your opponent controls up to the graveyard up to the number sent by this effect. We sent 7. Our opponent's now going to have to send 7. And to make things worse, neither player can activate monster effects in response to this effect's activation. Goodbye, cards. I hope you didn't like having them. Whoop. And suddenly this game looks a whole lot different. We set Dragon Zombie, and we set a bunch of... Nope, 1 Eldlich or the Scarlet Scanwing from our deck. Spenta, the card we draw. What a card to draw. And it does a whole lot of nothing, I guess. Wow. Or at least I did something. Okay. But nope, Eldlich in the end phase, summon the Eldlich. Dragon Zombie flip summon. What's the damage? 56. Oh, that's lethal. Close one. Game 2, and we have another Floodgate in the opening hand. Dimensional Fissure this time. Normal summoning Zoroa, then we can activate the Very Magic to mill the Jenny. Jenny in the graveyard can copy the Very Magic, and we can choose the other mode, which will summon the Rilona from the deck. Rilona will get us another Magistus card, and it will be the Veritra. Zoroa could equip from the extra deck, and Materiactor comes down to make Wicket mill 2. We'll spend a Materiactor and the Once Upon a Fairy Tale, which can reset itself. Magigear special summon itself once per turn and give us a search of the Fairy Tale Ball. Fairy Tale Ball comes down and gets us into a Fairy Tale Luna. Tales of the Fairy Tales equipped to Zora, which then allows us to fusion summon into, oh boy, this card. The Conflagrant Calamity. Whatever he's equipped with, your opponent cannot activate those effects. So they can't activate Synchros, they can't activate XYZs. There's now a Luna on the field, and the Dimensional Fissure is coming. Fusion summon into the Weaver of Fairy Tales. Special summon the Fairy Tale Sleeper. And that is our end board with the Dimensional Fissure. Yeah, I don't blame him. Let's see how game 3 goes. We'll start with a Zepwing, searching for the Exoraptor, which can pitch a Eldlich the Golden Lord to summon itself and search for the Dragon Zombie. We'll make an X-Guard, summoning the Jigarda from the deck, pitching the Dragon Zombie to summon a Jigarda, and overlay for the XYZ Armor Torpedo. I would like to draw a card, please. XYZ Armor Fortress. I would like to search a card, please. Thank you so much for the XYZ Armor Fortress, which I will set and send to the graveyard for Eldlich the Golden Lord, summon itself, 3,500 now. The Knight Lancer here is, well, setting Dragon's Mind, Conquistador of the Golden Land, and Forbidden Droplet, a formidable back row. We'll start with Twin Twisters pitching Jenny of the Ring. That forces out the Dragon's Mind to protect the back row. Ultimate Slayer next, sending Myriologic Aggregator to bounce the Lancer and then negate the Exiguard. Next up, Machigiru, negated by Forbidden Droplet. Jenny of the Ring, though, comes down, turning the Eldlich into a Spellcaster. Conquest card comes down. That's not 2 4s on the field. And it looks like we have no more extender. Zora cannot be special summoned in the end phase. Dragon's Mind can reset itself. Yikes. We draw another Dragon's Mind. Sure, as if it was necessary. Gustav Max being made here. 2,000 damage. Overlaying into Lieb. Detach. And then full armor XYZ to attach. So to attach a train to a train. I heard you like trains. But how about a train that has 9,000 attack points? Attacking for 7,150 to One Punch Man their opponent into the next dimension. Here is the Fairy Tale deck. We have Jenny of the Ring, Machigiru at 3. Do not look up the lore for this card. Do not. Sleeper, Fairy Tale Luna for the Fairy Tale cards. We have Crowley at 1, Zoro at 1, and 3 Spenta along with 3 Rilliona for a Magistus package. 2 Summoner Monks, 3 Fualos, and 2 Jennies in the main, along with the Magistus Veritria. 1 Mistaken Arrest, just 1 for consistency. 3 Ultimate Slayers. 1 Twin Twisters, 1 Super Polymerization in the main deck. Make sure you have your 1-ofs. Apparently they're good. Lacrima of Light, Tales of the Fairy Tale, and Fairy Tale Ball. In the extra deck, we have basically one of every relevant extra deck monster from every archetype present in the main deck. Rilliona, Alchemic Magician, Wicked Cat, Myriologic Aggregator, Pegasus as sends for the Ultimate Slayer. We have the Divinity Dragon and the Conflagrant Calamity for floodgating and going second. The Chorozo, Weaver Fairy Tales, Taylor Fairy Tales, Mud Dragon of the Swamp, which is super poly target, and along with the Garura, which flexes as a super poly and Ultimate Slayer target. I was the Magistus Spell Spirit invoked Magistus Omega, and Zora Verathragna. In the side deck, we have Gamma Seal, a Rella, 3 Illusion Gates, Twin Twisters, Blizzard, and Dimensional Fissure. Next up is a deck I like to call Fusion Fiends versus Gem Knights. Fusion Fiends will lean with the Tour Guide from the Underworld, which they will summon a Fiendish Runner Warrior and overlay for the XYZ Armor Torpedo and Natty draw full armored XYZ. Incredible. Fiendish Runner Warrior will mill a Buyeo to the graveyard, which will search for the Mutiny in the Sky, which they can use, fusing off the Buyeo and Tour Guide right back into the deck to make Aerial Eater, which will let them send the Archfiend Eris to the graveyard, searching for the Archfiend's strategy. Archfiend strategy, banish a Fiend, search any Archfiend card. Archfiend's Usurpation is selected, which allows us to set any Archfiend spell trap from our deck, and then activate it this turn. We'll choose the Archfiend's playtime, which gives us a special summon. We will choose the Archfiend Commander, another level 6. That allows us to make the Wave King Caesar. Also upgrade to a Dragon's Gate, setting the full armor XYZ, which will activate immediately to make the Lancer. And that's how we'll pass. Shaddoll Fusion is activated, but Wave King Caesar is a card that has text. And they drew a Lava Golem for turn. Perhaps they'll realize... Yes, here we go. Lava Golem comes down, and then Scatter Fusion is used to fuse a Nephirim and a Hollow Core into the Rose Diamond. Nephirim effect, pitching a Shaddoll Beast to special summon itself. That'll get a draw and a special... and a search, and then a bonus normal summon with the other effect of Nephirim whenever they would like. Gem Knight Quartz activate because our opponent controls a monster to set Brilliant Fusion, beautiful card, Gem Knight Quartz, and Nephirim, and the Gem Armadillo, 3 materials to make the Diamond Dispersion, triggering a whole host of effects. We get the Nephirim back to our hand. Godos will come down, and Rose Diamond will send the Lava Golem to the graveyard. Godos will steal a Hollow Core, but that's okay, because we have another Hollow Core in our hand. Gem Knight Fusion sent to the graveyard to special summon itself. As Nibiru comes crashing down to end the combo, or does it? Gem Knight Dispersion. We have the Gem Knight Fusion in our graveyard, so we can use 2 materials from our deck as well. That makes another Diamond Dispersion, which we can use to tag out into Prismara, Topaz, Rose, Diamond, Nephirim effect in the graveyard. Get back the Gem Knight Fusion, which we can pitch for the Prismara to remove the Nibiru. Gem Knight Quartz in the graveyard. Give us back the Gem Knight Fusion. Battle phase. And that's enough. Game 2. Gazelle of the Mythical Claws comes down to search for a Chimera Fusion. Chimera Fusion met by Mulcharmy Fulos. Gazelle and it was a Archfiend Commander in hand to make the Berpamet Fusion, sending a Fiendish Rhino Warrior to the graveyard and sending a Archfiend Eris to the graveyard with that Hecahan's Godo searched with the Gazelle. Archfiend Eris gets us into the Archfiend Sanctuary, strategy. Banish the Rhino Warrior to get the Archfiend's Usurpation. Activate that. Oh, nope. First things first, get back Chimera Fusion. Come to my hand. Oh, no, we're just going to set everything and pass. I guess we don't want to play into Fulos. Archfiend's Usurpation will summon... Oh, no, we're going Symbol Archfiend's Floodgates today. Gem Knight Quartz. Met by Chimera Fusion. Here comes Magnum the Reliever. Brilliant Fusion set onto the field. Brilliant Fusion will activate. Magnum will pop it. The card was activated. We'll banish the Fusion to do so. Gem Knight Nephirim normal summon and get a search of a Gem Knight card. Gem Knight Dispersion is selected. Gem Knight Dispersion activated. And that will be met by Blizzard. Negate and return to the hand. You can't use that card this turn. And a card's added to the hand, so Hecahan's Godos comes down. Illusion Gate comes down, but Godos can steal a monster in response. We'll steal this Quartz, and it will be banished on resolution by the effect of Godos. Nibiru is summoned, 3000 Beat Stick, and that's all the damage it seems that we're going to have this turn. A Skarm was sent to the graveyard, so Tour Guide will be searched in the end phase. Classic play. Eldlich drawn for turn. Archfiend strategy. Oh my goodness. Searches for another Usurpation. Activate Usurpation. This time, the playtime is selected. Playtime's activated. And we get the Archfiend's Advent. That'll steal the Nephirim, and we will use the Mutiny in the Sky next. Shuffling back 3 for the Luce the Dust Dawn. And that's enough damage to pack it up. Game 3. Let's see how this match concludes. The Gem Knight player elects to go first, which is unusual. They'll lead with Nephirim, searching for Gem Knight Dispersion. Gem Knight Dispersion comes down. Searching for Gem Armadillo. Then with the Nephilim bonus effect, Gem Armadillo comes down. And that will search for the Gem Knight Quartz. Next, they overlaid 2 monsters for the Wonky Quartet, which attaches spell, monster, and yoinks away to the opponent's board. The Wonkler is here. And now that our opponent controls a monster, Gem Knight Quartz can be used to set Brilliant Fusion directly from the deck. Brilliant gameplay. Brilliant Fusion now will fuse Hollow Core, and Quartz for the Diamond Dispersion, and then Quartz will give us back 1 of those Hollow Cores. Godos comes down and attempts to steal a Hollow Core. We'll chain the same effect. We'll chain the Hollow Core's effect to negate the Godos, and then we'll chain to that Diamond Dispersion to summon these 3 Gem Knights from the extra deck. Next, we'll special summon the Hollow Core from our hand by sending the Gem Knight Fusion to the graveyard and set Droplet Twister's Mischief of the Gnomes to end our turn. Wonky Quartet activates, attaching spell, trap, and monster, and then returning to our board. Oh no. Gazelle, the King of Mythical Claws, searches for Chimera Fusion, activates, fusing the Chimera and the Archfiend Eris for Berthamet Fusion, searching for the Archfiend Strategy, searching for the Fleeting Maskmaster, and Berthamet sends from the deck to the graveyard Fiendish Runner Warrior, which in turn is met by Mischief of the Gnomes, doesn't do a whole lot. Farfa hits the graveyard, banishes the Lady Diamond. Chimera Fusion returns to the hand. Illusion Gate destroys most of the board. Wonky Quartet, of course, is unaffected. We summon Hollow Core, and then we have some trigger effects. The Amethyst here returns all set spell traps on the field of the hand. Oopsie. And then the Aquamarine will bounce the Hollow Core back to the hand. Of course, that's the Gem Knight players card, so they'll go back to their hand. Archfiend Strategy comes down, banishing a Rhino Warrior, search for Usurpation. The Fusion Fiends is looking pretty good right now. Archfiend's Usurpation sets the Archfiend's Ghastly Glitch this time, as Chimera Fusion fuses a Berthamet with the Maskmaster for Magnum the Reliever, which can draw a card, and the Maskmaster can summon itself by banishing Illusion Gate. Maskmaster then sends Booyah to the graveyard, which will allow them to search for the Mutiny in the Sky. Rank 8, as Mutiny in the Sky comes down to make Luce the Dust Dawn. Mischief for the Gnomes is activated here, but it might be too little too late. Shayama sent to the graveyard to get the Mutiny in the Sky back to the hand. Booyah sends Skarm to the graveyard. Archfiend's Ghastly Glitch destroys the Brilliant Fusion. Shayama comes back by sending a card. That's a lot of damage, and we will pack it up. Here is the Fusion Fiends list. It uses just all kinds of stuff, honestly. You see, we have a Chimera package, we have a Burning Abyss package, we have a Heckahands package, we have the Maskmaster, we have an Archfiend package. There's honestly just so many cards in here. There's Unchained, there's Super Duper Polymerization, a card I love just saying. So, Super Duper Polymerization, Chimera Fusion. We have Armored XYZ. We even have Void Apocalypse, not featured in this match. The Archfiend cards, of course. We have some XYZs not featured as well. Stone King Darius, the Goblin Bag has gone bonkers, Crazy Beast, a Caesar, Duke of Demise, Double Luce. In the side deck, we have some Heavy Breakers, Heavy Storm, Illusion Gate, Dark Ruler No More, Blizzard, Evenly Matched, and a Symbol Archfiend, searchable by everything. Here is the Gem Knight list. We have Nibiru, Lava Golem, Gamma Seal in the main, Gem Knight, Holocore, Shaddoll, Beast Shaddoll, Dragon, to go with the main Shaddoll fusions, Gem Armadillo, Gem Knight Nephilim, Gem Knight Quartz, Mul, Charmy Phoblalus, Gem Knight Fusion, Heavy Storm, Gem Knight Dispersion, Illusion Gate, Forbidden Droplet, Twin Twisters, Brilliant Fusion, and Scatter Fusion. We have basically just one of every Gem Knight I've ever heard of in my life in the extra deck. I'll just hover over all of them for you. Alongside a Shaddoll Construct for Shaddoll Fusion. We also have Tornado Dragon, the Giant Hand, and the Wonkler for rank 4 options. Lava Golem and Gamma Steel on the side. We have 3 copies of Soundproof, Twin Twisters, and Vigneul's Blessing, Mischief of the Gnomes, 3 copies of Penalty Game, and 3 copies of Shadow Imprisoning Mirror. We are going back to 2014 with the side deck choices. Next up is Goblin Bikers with a bunch of other rank 3 goodness versus Predaplant Rose Dragon. Goblin Bikers will start with a Goblin Bikers Gone Wild, summoning Doug Charger from the deck, which can search them the Goblin Bikers Grand Entrance. They can special summon Swen since there's no back row on the opponent's side of the field. That'll search them a Radiant Typhoon Mandate to pair with their MST. They'll overlay the 2 level 3s for Goblin Biker Big Gabunga. That gets him a Mean Merciless in hand. Goblin Biker Grand Entrance will also get them a Cloud Exploder in hand and then summon a Mean Merciless, which will summon the Cloud Exploder, which will summon the Dug Charger. That's 3 level 3 monsters, which makes an Ashura King. And then Grand Entrance can detach a material to put the Cloud Exploder in the graveyard, and then Goblin Biker Big Gabunga will eat the final material on board, setting the MST and Mandate to end their turn. End phase, Gabunga eats a card from the deck. They have Boommock, Gone Wild, and Swen as materials. Predaplant will start with Longophilia normal summon, searching for the Predapractice. They will follow that up with the Primitive, sending Byleth for Cosp, but that will be negated by MST plus Mandate. So there's no search, but the Byleth in the graveyard does get a search, and that will be the Lizard. Lizard will attempt to special summon itself, but that's going to be met with Ashura King to destroy it, and then Goblin Biker Big Gabunga, because a card was detached, will eat that monster. Predapractice up next to special summon the Longophilia from the hand and get a search, and then Predapruning will special summon back the Lizard from the graveyard and net 1 draw a useless Fuolos. Next up, the Lizard will attempt to change Big Gabunga into a dark monster, but that will be met with the Cloud Exploder quick effect to special summon itself. That will cause a series of triggers because the Goblin Biker's Gone Wild has gone to the graveyard. So that will allow them to eat another card with a Big Gabunga. And also the Cloud Exploder will summon another monster. It is the Mean Merciless, and when it hits the field, another monster gets summoned, this time from the hand, and that's a Goblin Biker's Gone Wild. We now have a full board of goblins into the nothing that the Predaplant player has. They're going to use super duper polymerization to try to get out of this jam. Predaplant Chimera Rafflesia uses material for the Amblio melodies, searching for another copy of Predapruning. There's a Longophilia in the graveyard, which will allow them to put a Predator counter on the Big Gabunga. And then Amblio Melodies will be able to tribute the Gabunga to summon a Orpher Scorpio directly from their deck, pitching that dead Fuolos to summon a Darlingtonia Cobra. We're suddenly comboing all over again. Darlingtonia can search for Ultra Polymerization. We haven't used that one this turn. We activate it, paying 2,000 life points, sending 2 monsters to the graveyard for Dragostapilia, and then Ultra Polymerization can get those 2 materials back. We'll go to battle phase. We'll destroy the Ashura King. We'll set our Predaplanting. The Dragostapilia will put a Predator counter on the Mean Merciless, and we'll pass there. Hopefully it's enough. The Goblin Biker players will summon a Virtual World Yan Yan, and that would be Predaplanting, putting a Predaplant counter, Predator counter on every monster. Please bear with the animation. It's a little bit on the slow side. 2 more, 1 more. That's all of them. This one even has 2 counters, which is pretty funny. I didn't even think of that. Byleth in the graveyard will give us a search of the Longophilia. And looks like we're just going to go to battle phase and clean up the plants. Okay, pass back. Normal summon that Longophilia we just searched. Get a copy of Primitive. And we are searching for the searcher, for the searcher, for the searcher. Primitive sending the Orpher Scorpio to get a Fusion Substitute. Byleth in the graveyard, special summon itself, and Predapluning can bring back the Amblio Melodies, if not for Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion. Okay, Fusion Substitute, we have this. We can make a starting Venom Fusion Dragon, and then the Fusion Substitute can even get us a draw. We can banish the Longophilia from our graveyard in order to get back a Polymerization, in this case, Fusion Substitute. And next, we will use the Thirsting Tree, sending a Circular to the graveyard, not that one, to summon itself, before going into battle phase and dealing a bit of damage on the way to destroying some monsters. And then we will pack it up on the Goblin side. We have no follow-up to contend with. Let's see how game 2 goes. Goblin Biker will elect to go first again. Goblin Biker Grand Bash being activated, then special summoning Swen. Swen will search for a Radiant Typhoon Chant, which will search for an Eldam. And then that'll give us another search of either a Radiant Typhoon card or an MST. In this case, they will choose MST. Fuolos will meet us at this point as Goblin Biker Big Gabunga comes down, offering our opponent 1 draw and ourselves a Dug Charger. Dug Charger will detach a Swen to special summon itself and then search for the Goblin Biker's Grand Entrance. Grand Entrance will be able to search for a Mean Merciless and then detach from the Big Gabunga to special summon said Mean Merciless, which will then summon again from the hand, which is a Clatter Exploder. Overlay these 2 level 3 goblins for an Armor Torpedo, giving our opponent a draw for their second this turn, and us +1. It's a Psychic Tracker, which we will summon, and then we will set all of our cards and pass end phase. Goblin Biker Big Gabunga, attaching a Goblin Biker's Gone Wild from the deck alongside our MST and Unbreakable XYZ's Barrier set. How will Predaplant respond? Or for Scorpio, normal summon, pitching Darling Tonia Cobra, no longer a hard brick in these day and age, summoning Longophilia from the deck. Longophilia will get us a search. Predapractice is the choice, since we already have so many other names. Unbreakable XYZ barrier will negate the effect of Lizard to summon itself from the hand. Well, it's trapped there because it's not destroyed. There are no 2 materials to detach to destroy it. Baltea will come down, Synchro Summon, to attempt to special summon from the graveyard. It's successful as Clatter Splitter detaches Gone Wild to summon itself. Of course, it detached from the Gabanga, and so Gabanga's going to eat a card. The Gone Wild's going to cause it to eat a card, and then the Darling Tonia Cobra will finally give him a search of a fusion card. Hopefully, it's enough to get them somewhere. Primitive will send the Predaplant Bioplast to the graveyard to search for yet another Predaplant card, or I think it was in this case it was Fusion Substitute. And then they search for a backup Longophilia as Predapractice special summons the Lizard. And then Super Duper Polymerization summons the Chimera Rafflesia from the extra deck to fusion summon Amblio Melodies, which eats Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion yet again. It's okay, we have more extension. Longophilia activates to put a counter on the big Gabongers. Byleth now able to summon itself since there is a Preda counter on the board. And Amblio Melodies can tribute any monster with a Preda counter to summon an Orpheus Scorpio directly from the deck, which is great because now we have lots of materials for fusion summoning. We have Ultra Polymerization, and then the Preda pruning afterwards will be hit by MST. Oof, that's not good. Okay, Dragos Tapilia, though, we can put a counter on the Psychic Tracker and then attack over the Armor Torpedo. That's at least something. Fusion Substitute in main phase 2 to make use of all this material we have and put the Starving Venom Fusion Dragon onto the board. Fusion Substitute will also let us draw a card afterwards. Unfortunately, it's not a hand trap. Goblin Bikers can start off drawing Ghost Bell, by the way, making the big Gabanga, and that will search them for a Goblin Bikers Gone Wild. They can use the graveyard effect of Mean Merciless to detach the Doug Charger summon itself. That will cause multiple trigger effects. First of all, Big Gabanga is going to try to eat the Starting Venom Fusion Dragon. Chain Link to Goblin Biker Mean Merciless going to summon this Gone Wild from the hand. And since they don't want that to happen, the Predaplant player, they will chain Link 3 Preda Primitive to have the Starting Venom Fusion Dragon explode itself. It's not eaten, it's instead destroyed. And when this monster is destroyed, it Raigekis the board. However, one of the monsters summoned was the Goblin Biker's Gone Wild, which when summoned summons a Goblin Biker directly from the deck, a Doug Charger. And now the normal summon of Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion will allow us to make the Materiactor Exiguard. No search, but we can use the Goblin Biker Grand Entrance to get a Clatter Spotter back, which will summon back a big Gabanga, and that's enough to cause a surrender. Game 3, and the Plants player gets to go first this time, starting with the Black Rose Garden, card we haven't seen from them. Searching for a Red Rose Dragon, and then special summoning a White Rose Dragon. To make Bramble Rose Dragon, that'll give him 2 effects, 1 to mill, and 1 to special summon the Rocks Rose from the deck. Bramble Rose effect will special summon a Black Rose Dragon from the effect, from the extra deck. We won't be using the Explodey effect. The Circular brings itself back, not that Circular. And it will search for the Thirsting Tree, which can send the Longophilia to the graveyard in order to special summon itself, and then we can go right ahead and make a Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. Wow, powerful card. Bramble Rose Dragon can banish itself from the graveyard to summon back the Longophilia, which searches for Preda Primitive, which then sends a Byleth to the graveyard to search another card, in this case Ultra Polymerization, and then Byleth will search us a Lizard. Lizard attempt to summon itself from hand, successful this time, and searches for Fusion Substitutes. We use Synchro Summon into Ball Tail, which brings back the Lizard for a draw 1. And we Fusion Substitute with the Lizard and said Ball Tail to make Amblio Melodies. What? No Ghost Bells? This is truly the best of times. We search for Predaplanting. Haven't ever got this far before. And then the Amblio Melodies will tribute the Circular to summon a Darling Tonia Cobra for a Super Duper Polymerization. Ultra Polymerization comes down to Fusion Summon a Dragos Tapilia, and then summon back the 2 materials just right back to the field as if nothing happened. 2 level 3s make an Exiguard, which searches for the Materiactor Critical. Oh my goodness, we're stacking all the traps up here today. Super Duper Polymerization will summon the Chimera Rafflesia. And then go ahead and Fusion Summon into the brand new guy, the Starving Venom Predapower Fusion Dragon. That's a mouthful. We set Materiactor Critical, Predaplanting, Polynosis, and Breakthrough skill. Good luck to any player trying to play through this, let alone a player who drew into 2 copies of Unbreakable XYZ Barrier. I don't know. That's not what you want to see. That is absolutely not what you want to see. Well, we'll start with a Swin and then a Psychic Tracker into a big Gabanga. We'll try to get somewhere with that, but Polynosis will make a quick end of that. Illusion Gate, though, will it stick? No. We'll simply surrender. Not the ending you'd hope to see, but nonetheless, here are the deck lists. This is Predaplant Rose Dragon. We have the Nibiru's here, Veilers, Mold Charming Foalos, Ghost Mourner, and Moonlit Chill, and DD Crows, all as hand traps. Lots and lots of hand traps in the main, alongside Dark Hole, Dark Ruler No More, Book of Eclipse, Breakthrough Skill, and Polynosis in the side. We also have 2 trap cards that were maining even, Materiactor Critical and Predaplanting, both of which are searchable, of course, alongside our full complement of Predaplant and Rose Dragon cards. I'll make sure to hover over all of them so you can take a look. But they're pretty standard ratios. In the extra deck, we have 2 of the new guide, New Star Infusion, and the this one, the 3 material guide, the triple guy, Starving Venom, Double Joy, Ghostopelia, Crimea Reflegia, and Embryo Melodies, Crystal Wing, Bramble Rose, Moonlight Rose, Black Rose, Garden Rose, all the roses, Baltea, and Exegard. This is the Goblin Biker list. They have 2 copies of Nibiru in the main deck, alongside 2 copies of Ghost Ogre, 2 copies of Ghost Spell, and 20 points on Goblin Biker's Grand Entrance, and 2 Gabongers. They have Skullmeister as well as a free option. They're running the Psychic Trackers, the Psychic Wheelers. They're running, of course, the Radiant Typhoon package alongside Triple Ascendance Chant and the Mandate. They also have a full armored XYZ package. In the extra deck, we have the Dark Knight Lancer, the Tolmium 7 Crazy Beast, and Gone Bunkers, Double Dragon Gate, Armor Fortress, Armor Torpedo, the Virtual World Long Gabongers, the Ashura King, and Exegard. And in the side deck, Triple Illusion Gate, Triple Twin Twisters, Triple Final Breaker of the End Time, Triple Econ, and Triple Unbreakable XYZ Barrier. Next up is Elfnote / Assault Mode versus Earth Machine. Earth Machine will start with Infinitrack Harvester, getting them into the Infinitrack Brutal Dozer. The Brutal Dozer will get rid of that Harvester to summon itself and summon a Trencher from the deck, which gets them into the River Stormer. Where are they going to go from here? They can go pretty much anywhere. It will be the Blue Traveler, of course. Blue Traveler comes down to search for the Revolving Switchyard. Activate the Switchyard and then use the Blue Train to bring itself back and another name. That'll trigger the Switchyard, of course, to summon the Railroad Stampede from the deck, which summons another name from the graveyard. That's now a whole bunch of material. Let's start modulating levels, and let's make a Gustav Max and get nibbed. The rock comes crashing down, destroying all the trains and stuff, and that's it. No extension. Salamangreat end board. Elfnote player starts with Lucina and gets Veilered, so that line of play will be shut down. But we have a Cyber Reflector in hand for a normal summon to get us into the Assault Zone. That will get us into the Assault Beast, which then gets us into an Assault Mode activate. We can use Cyber Reflector now by revealing the Assault Mode activate to summon back Assault Beast, changing its level, increasing it by 3 in this case, and then we can make a level 8 Synchro into the Nightwing Cleric. And the Nightwing Cleric allows us to set the Assault Mode activate and activate it this turn. And due to the field spell, the Assault Zone, when we activate the Assault Mode activate, we can use a material from our extra deck instead of the field. And here comes Stardust Dragon Assault Mode directly from the deck. Nightwing Cleric will get us into another Cyber Reflector, and then we will Synchro up into the Snake Eyes Vengeance Dragon, placing our own Nibiru token into our Pendulum Zone, and attacking for a swift Game 1 victory. Game 2. Earth Machine this time starting with Exceptional Schedule, searching for the Urgent Schedule, and putting the Diagram token on the opponent's board. They follow with Urgent Schedule, summoning the Blue Traveler and a Scrap Recycler from the deck, and then Heavy Forward, searching for the Infinitrack Harvester. Infinitrack Harvester comes down, searching for the Brutal Dozer. And then we will activate Double Wild to search for a Derricrane. Before we use the Infinitrack Harvester to make a Chronomaly Vimana, and that will at least insulate our plays from monster effects, perhaps such as Nibiru the Primal Being. We have 2 5s now, so we can make Infinitrack River Stormer. That gives us into Therian King Regulus, another layer of insulation for our plays. Revolving Switcher comes down as Exceptional Schedule. Graveyard Effect attempts to extend, but Ghost Spell will negate that. However, we still have the Blue Train in the graveyard, so we can summon back a whole bunch of names still. And here's a Gustav Max. There's 2,000 damage as we rank up into the Gustav Rocket. The King comes down as well, so that's 1, 2, 3 negates on the field currently. And that's where we'll end it. How will Elfnote respond? Entering the battle phase, crashing the token, which was notably in the middle monster zone. So the Elfnotes, of course, couldn't summon for their effects, so they had to crash to get the token out of that zone first. But now that the middle monster zone is there, in main phase 2, we could try to get through, but we're gonna start eating every negate in the center monster zone here. At least Tinia didn't get negated and destroyed. Assault zone will get us into an assault beast. We haven't normal summoned yet, so this might go somewhere. Well, we have an assault mode activated. That's not really a good normal summon, but the assault lich is. We'll make a Chen Ying and then special summon a Fortuna, which will get negated by the Therian King Regulus. And we will pass there. Will Chen Ying survive? It seems like an awfully large task for just one worm monster. The Bulldozer comes down, and here comes Cyber Dragon Infinity. But the monsters are all in defense mode, so they can't be eaten right now. Convex Knight mills a Machina Citadel, and we go into battle phase as Lieb absolutely just eats the whole board. And then the trains get in there for a swift victory. Game 3. And Elfnotes will start with a Tinia getting to the Elfnotes Welcome Back, which can send an Assault Mode Stardust to the graveyard to get into the Elfnote Power Patron and go into the Strelitzia. Strelitzia will get them into the Power Patron gets them into Fortuna, and then Strelitzia gets back the Power Patron to go into Star Synchro Assault Dragon, or Excel Dragon. And then we get the Fortuna into play, and that gets us the Rhapsody of Madness to get back to Strelitzia. Make a Stardust Dragon and a Nightwinged Cleric. Nightwinged Cleric getting Assault Mode activates directly from the deck. And then special summoning directly from the deck the Assault Sentinel, which contributes itself to get into the Assault Lich. And get back Assault Sentinel. We'll then Synchro Summon into the Crimson King, grabbing Crimson Call. And a copy of Assault Counter. Activate Crimson Call, and we'll get back a Skullmeister. And we will set pass. We have Assault Mode activate, Assault Counter, and Max Metal Morph set with Skullmeister and Ghost Bell in hand. That seems pretty formidable. Exceptional Schedule is the first play, and it will be negated by the Elfnote's Rhapsody of Madness. Followed by Max Metal Morph, tagging out the Crimson King for a Red Eyes Black Full Metal Dragon. Elfnote Strelitzia next to bring back the Elfnote Tinia. And banish a card from the hand. This time they hit the Blue Traveler, which is actually a meaningful hit. Fabled comes down, but that'll be negated by the Red Eyes Black Full Metal Dragon. Fabled though, can rank up by itself into the Gustav Rocket, and then the Convex Knight comes down, milling the Machina Citadel in the process. Before Therian King Regulus comes down, equipping itself with the Machina Citadel. Exceptional Schedule will be negated by Skullmeister, and at that point, the Earth Machine player enters the battle phase, clears a few names, and that's going to be where they pass their turn. Blizzard will be targeting the Machina Citadel, which doesn't work, I think, the way they think it does. They think this bounces it, but that won't do anything, actually. Strelitzia will make a Crystal Wing, so at least we have some pushing power into the negates on the board here. And then we'll special summon a Elfnote Lucina into the center monster zone, searching for Elfnote Tinia. Rhapsody of Madness sends a Elfnote Power Patron, and then sends a Tinia to get back the Elfnote Power Patron. And then they'll synchro into Chen Ying before attacking. I'm not really sure why they crashed the Crystal Wing into the Gustav Rocket. Heavy Forward gets a Brutal Dozer. Sorry, that's a Road Roller. Harvester gets a Trencher. Trencher comes down and summons a Road Roller with it. Rhapsody of Madness comes out to negate the Gustav Rocket and then summon back a Lucina. The blue train gets us into a Revolving Switchyard. And then the blue train comes back from the graveyard. We have a full board of material. Certainly this does something. We have a Lieb and a Dora. Lieb, of course, can attack everything. It's now also unaffected by everything else. Is now absolutely just rolling over everything and winning the game. That is a victory for Earth Machine. Here is the Earth Machine list. It's a little bit different than the one we saw earlier, but it's pretty similar. It does include Mulcharmy Walnos and Effect Veiler in the main deck. It also includes Double Wild, which was not present in the previous list, as well as Clockwork Knight, and of course 3 copies of Exceptional Schedule for consistency. Number 77, 7 Sins in the extra deck, notably, as well as the Skyplace Gangaradai. Cyber Dragon Infinity, and double River Stormer. In the side deck, we have Train Connection, Swords of Castilian Light, Twin Twisters, the Final Urgent Schedule, Magical Hound Skullmeister, Nefshadal Genius, and 2 copies of Jizukyu, the Star Destroying Kaiju. Here is the Assault Mode deck featuring Nibiru, the Primal Being, Black Red Eyes Black Full Metal Dragon. I keep trying to call it Black Eyes Red Dragon, which is not correct. Skullmeister, Bone Archery, Assault Beast, a small Elfnotes package, Ghost Spell, and Ghost Ogre for non-engine. We have Vision Resonator, so we have a bit of a soupy synchro pile here, and it's very interesting. Elfnote Power Patron, also 15 points. Lots of points on engine in this deck, actually. We have 3 different searchable archetype traps, the Rhapsodia, Max Melamorph, Assault Mode Activate, alongside MST in the main deck. Vengeance Dragon, Chenying, Croca Dragon, Crystalline, Draco Berserker of the Tenyi. We have just the absolute toolbox of a synchro extra deck here. Crimson Blader even. any Dragon Ruler players out there, they will not be happy to see that card. I guess they do have Crimson Blader Assault Mode these days, don't they? Nightwing Claire, Stardust Dragon, Clearwing Synchro Dragon, Crimson Blade Dragon, Ancient Fairy Dragon, and Strelitzia filling out the extra deck. And for the side deck, Heka Hands Godos, Skullmeister Hatrunade, Illusion Gate Blizzard, Mystical Space Typhoon, and Assault Counter. This next replay features a deck that, quite frankly, I never expected to see in my entire life, let alone here in a tournament replay. This is Lunalight Pumpking Tearlament versus Clown Crew. Clown Crew will lead with the Clown Crew Rehearsal, attributing a Chalice Lime for a double search before using Chaotic Elements to search for another copy of Chalice Lime. Clown Crew Malabarisme, summoning a Diabolo and a Fiends from the extra deck before they tribute both for Bianca Viso, allow themselves to set 2 cards from the deck and then also draw 2 cards. We will get ourselves an Operatics and in Operations, and we draw into Super Poly Chaotic Elements. Very good cards. The Operatics will get us a Clown Crew Flare from the main deck. And then in the end phase, the Operatics draws 3 cards. Holy. So we have a set Super Poly, 2 set Super Polys. Holy. And the Operations. Let's see how that goes. We start with Tri-Brigade Fractal, met by Operations. Fractal sends Lunalight Silverhound to the graveyard, which will summon a Lunalight Gold Leo from the deck, searching for a Lunalight Black Sheep. And discarding the Unchanged Soul of Shayama, Black Sheep will search for a Polymerization, and we'll choose the original Polymerization today. Gold Leo, next, will add back that Black Sheep that was just sent to the graveyard, as Poly will attempt to fuse, and that will be met by a Bianca Viso tribute summon using a Graveyard Operations effect. We fuse the Gold Leo with a Silverhound to mate the Perfume Dancer. Chainlink 1, Bianca Viso, Chainlink 2 to try to negate a card, and then we're going to be shuffling back the Ritual Monsters. Perfume Dancer will be negated by the Bianca Viso, good Chainlinks by the Clown Crew player. That's no problem. Black Sheep gets us another copy of Polymerization, and we are still playing the game. Activate the second copy of Polymerization, fusing a Pumpkin and a Lunalight Perfume Dancer for Predaplant, Draco's Tapelia. And because Pumpkin was sent to the graveyard by card effect, we can get a Call the Haunted. We'll summon back a Pumpkin with that Call the Haunted before getting a Officiating Reverie with its effect. But that'll be met by Super Polymerization. 3 materials for the Trisverum, and oof. That's a bit much. To be fair, I don't know if we could have played through the second Super Poly anyway. That's no matter. We will simply win in Game 2 going first. Tearlament strongest after all. We'll lead with Gold Leo, searching for a copy of Yellow Martin and then discarding it. Yellow Martin will trigger, searching for Lunalight Masquerade. We activate Lunalight Masquerade, and we send from the deck to the graveyard Lunalight Silverhound, which triggers to summon a Kaleido Chick from the deck, which triggers to send Black Sheep to the graveyard as cost. Gold Leo will be activated to add that back to hand, and then Black Sheep will search for Polymerization, or in this case, the Fusion Substitute. Fusion Sub comes down, fuses the 2 monsters on the field for Perfume Dancer, which searches for a Lunalight Perfume, as Masquerade gets us back a Polymerization from the graveyard, in this case, Fusion Substitute, and then discards a card. We'll send Soliak. Soliak will search for Tearlament Shiren, because it was sent by card effect. Lunalight Perfume summons back the Lunalight Kaleido Check before bending a Gold Leo. Perfume Dancer bounces the Kaleido Check to hand, summons it again to bend a Gold Leo for cost. Perfume in the graveyard gets back the Lunalight Black Sheep by bending a Silverhound. Before that, Black Sheep gets us yet another Polymerization. Yellow Martin effect bounce the Lunalight Masquerade to summon itself back, and that is 2 level 4 Beast Warriors, which can be turned into Bujenti, Kajatushi, Mill 5. Feel great. We mill the Tearlament's Heartbeat, a King of the Swamp, Trivy Karma, Stare of the Snake Hair. Just banger after banger. Absolutely massive. Because we sent the Tearlament's Heartbeat to the graveyard, we can get back this copy of Tearlament Solic, and then we will activate Fusion Substitute, fusing with 2 monsters in the graveyard from the effect of the Lunalight Masquerade that we had activated earlier, and then we will overlay these 2 level 6 Lunalight Perfume Dancers for Constaller Polmy M7. We'll summon Tearlament's Cashier by banishing the Tearlament's Heartbeat from the graveyard, milling 3 cards in the process. We mill another Tear Cache, mill 2 more cards. Perfect. Constaller Polmy M7 has its choice of cards to fish out of the graveyard for us. We'll choose the Pumpkin, King of Grave Ghosts. We'll use its effect, set a Call of the Haunted from the deck, and send Officiating Reverie to the graveyard. We'll then overlay for the Full Armored Dark Knight Lancer, which, if you didn't know, is an Aqua monster, not a machine. That means we can use Polymerization to fuse our Tearlament Shiren with the Dark Knight Lancer for the Tearlament's Kit Kalos. That'll trigger all kinds of effects. Tearlament's Kit Kalos gets us a card from the deck. The Shiren in the graveyard will do another fusion summon using itself and the King of the Swamp that was there to make Tearlament's Rule Kalos, and Officiating Reverie will float us back a zombie monster. Kit Kalos searching for Tearlament's Crime, as the Officiating Reverie gets back the Stare of the Snake Hair. Fusion Substitute gets us a draw. We draw King of the Swamp, which gets us into another copy of Polymerization, which we can use to fuse off the Kajatushi with the Pumpkin, King of Grave Ghosts. For a Magnum the Reliever, we'll activate the Lunalight Masquerade to trigger the Magnum. That allows banished a Polymerization to destroy the Kit Kalos, get us off our field, and summon something more useful. We can use Call the Haunted now to summon back Pumpkin, King of Grave Ghosts, and overlay for the Pumpkin, King of... the Great Ghost King. Okay, there we go. Very similar names. Ectoplasmic Fortification is searched, and we will use it to draw up to the number of cards, copies of Call the Haunted. We use the Grave Ghost King to bounce 2 cards, Call the Haunted, and a Tearlament's Cashier. We'll use Trivy Karma to search for Tearlament's Heartbeat and set it, upgrade it into Undying Legion, and pass there. Okay, that's a lot. That looks like full Tearlament combo. We got a Call the Haunted, Tearlament's Crime, Tearlament's Solic, Tearlament's Heartbeat, Tearlament's Rule Kalos, Undying Legion, and a Magnum the Reliever into 1, 2, 3 Kaijus. So let's see how that goes. Our opponent draws another Kaiju for turn. Full Tearlament combo versus 4 Kaijus. Who would win? Well, Kaiju beats Rule Kalos. Alright, well, we'll use Tearlament's Cashier to try to mill some cards and make up for that. Comes down, banishing a Solic, mill 3, and we milled the Tearlament's Grief, which gets us back a Solic. Maybe that'll be helpful in the future. Jizukiro comes down, and our opponent doesn't seem to have a lot of else to start their plays. They'll attack with the Jizukiro. Call the Haunted will bring back a Kit Kalos, and we will use Kit Kalos to mill a Shiren effect. Fusion summon using 3 names. Here comes Tearlament's Kaleido Heart. That allows us to shuffle the Jizukiro back into the deck during the still in the battle phase. We'll go into main phase 2, and a second Kaiju has hit the field as our Undying Legion gets binned, tributed by a turtle. Clown Crew Flare gets us into Clown Crew Rehearsal, but that will be negated by the Lunalight Silverhound. We can summon a Sticky String Kaiju, but that's just 1 Kaiju versus a full Tearlament board. We just go to battle phase and attack. We don't even have to play the game. Well, all we have to do is charge into battle, and that is a victory for Genesys Tearlament. All right, let's see how game 3 goes. I see a lot of heralds, so could be a little bit dicey. Except for the fact that they just passed because they don't have a play. Interesting. All right, well, what about Masquerade? That's a play. Well, Hail the Green Light says no. Okay. Golgolette searches for a copy of Forbidden Droplet. All right, let's try King of the Swamp, searching for Polymerization. I only see 1 name in play, though. We'll have to get another one somehow. Lunalight Masquerade, maybe that'll get us there. Dumping a Yellow Martin. Yellow Martin eats a Herald of Orange Light, which pins an Eva and searches for 2 more Heralds. You've heard of second Herald, but how about third Herald? Yellow Martin can return the Masquerade to hand to summon itself, and then we can activate the Masquerade again. We'll use Polymerization, and that'll eat a Herald of Green Light. Can I play the game? No! We set the Lunalight Silverhound, set Trivy Karma, and pass. Clown Crew draws Clown Crew Rehearsal, but has no monster to tribute, so it's a dead draw. We draw Lunalight Kaleido Check, normal summon, send a Perfume Dancer to the graveyard before overlaying for Bujinti Kajatushi. That will be negated by Forbidden Droplet. Cannot allow Tearlament to mill. We turn Silverhound to attack and attack for 2,650 damage before passing back. Clown Crew draws another rehearsal. All they needed was one monster to pair with either, and they could have played the game, but instead they surrender. They don't have a starter, and Tearlament is playing the game. Here is the Clown Crew list. It is a fairy build, which is probably the most common build I see these days. It runs all the normal Clown Crew cards, plus 3 copies of Eva, Herald of Orange Light, Herald of Green Light, and the Keldo and Mudora, and perhaps we even saw earlier today the Ritual Searcher Fairy guy. We have a Slifer the Sky Dragon. Maybe someday we'll see him in action, but not today. In the extra deck, we have some Ultimate Slayer targets of all kinds, plus some Super Poly targets, because there is Super Poly in the main deck, alongside that 1 copy of Forbidden Droplet. In the side deck, Thunder King, Jizukiro, just all kaijus all day. How many kaijus is this? 3, 6, 9, 11 kaijus in the side. Our opponent will not keep their board. We also have 3 Ultimate Slayers. Here is the Tearlaments list. We have kaijus in the main alongside Tearlament's Kashtira, Unchanged Soul of Shayama, Officiating Reverie. Honestly, it's a bit of a soupy deck here. We got Tri-Brigade, we got the Pumpking Engine. We have, of course, for points, just Shiren and Kit Kalos 50 a piece. We have a Lunalight engine, 3 King of the Swarms to get us into our 2 polymerizations and the Fusion Substitute. We have 3 copies of Tearlament's Grief and 3 copies of Solic to try to just, trigger as many graveyard effects as we can and combo off. Both Tearlament's names plus Magnum Reliever, Dragos Depelia, 3 Lunalight fusions for OTK potential, Kit Kalos, the Dark Knight Lancer that you saw, notably in Aqua Monster, which is very funny, Undying Legion, Katomi M7, Pumpkin, Kajatushi, Dempsey, and Exaton Knight. I feel like we almost saw all of these in a single combo, which is kind of amazing. We have Sphere Mode in the side deck alongside a Panther Dancer, 3 Illusion Gate, 3 Lunalight Fusion, 2 Twin Twisters, 2 Tearlament's Heartbeat, and a Tearlament's Crime. That's all the replays for this week. I hope you enjoyed them. If you did, smash the like button. I would appreciate it a lot. It really helps. Tune in next week for the next installment of Genesys Weekly. Bye-bye!